Okay, boys. So, welcome back to another In Your 20s podcast. We're here with Jillian. So, we've actually had this plan for a couple weeks now. Actually, maybe a month or two. But unfortunately, Jillian's been going through a little dilemma. Same thing as the boys. Mental health is a big thing. So, take care of yourself. Go for a walk. Go for a run. Do something. Eat, smoke, drink. I don't care what you do. Whatever you can do to, overcome that obstacle, do it. But honestly, take care of yourself. Mental health is a real thing. I'm very thankful that Jillian hopped on the pod today. She's feeling very energetic, but also too, I'm telling you, keeping your mental health on check is something that you have to do in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, every fucking day. But nonetheless, let's hop on this pod. This is Jillian.
Hi.
The one and only.
I am.
She really is.
Thank you for that intro.
I feel like you have one of the best energies that I have ever felt in a person. You're just always optimistic. You're always nice. You're friendly, and I don't know, in a way, you're super humble.
Thank you.
Based off what you've lived through and what you told me about.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, you got to stay humble. I don't know. Yeah.
So from the beginning, though, what made you be so humble from the start?
I think my family. I come from a really good family. They keep me grounded. They keep me centered within myself. They reel me back in. I definitely pay tribute to my family. Yeah, I mean, obviously I have my own rituals and little tools that I utilize to keep myself grounded. But other than that, yeah, it's mostly my family.
And you're born and raised in Chicago?
I am.
Okay. So what area were you born in Chicago?
Barrington, North Barrington.
Barrington. So you got money. No, North here.
I mean, a very hardworking family.
That too.
Very hardworking family.
We are a very hardworking woman.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I know from the backstory, you went to LA for a time.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm going too forward or if you want to backtrack.
Oh my God. Take it away.
Okay. So yeah. I know that in California, when you were in California, a lot of things started happening. You started transitioning. You started developing these new skills.
Yes.
How was it like going to California, moving from Chicago?
It was a journey, to say the least. I made the choice that I was going to chase after my dreams. And when you do that, you kind of detach from your comfort zone and you have to live outside of your comfort, which then pushes you to grow. So while you're doing that, you oftentimes find these different ways of knowing what's right and what's wrong, or what's in alignment with what you love to do. So for me, I adapted to these different ways of just staying in alignment with what I wanted to accomplish for myself. So one of them was, writing a list of the 5 things that I'm always going to stay true to and always stay focused on when I am kind of jumping into this big new place, this big ocean in a sense, from coming from, my family and being definitely sheltered. And then I'm stepping into this big city, and in order to keep myself in alignment and grounded and centered within that, from being away from my family, I had to come up with these different ways. So it was making lists of things that I would always stay true to. It was staying focused on anything that reminded me of, somebody, a staple in my family. So if it had to do with wellness, I was going to do it. If it had to do with dancing and singing, I was going to do it. If it was anything that brought me joy and happiness, those were the projects that I would jump on and work with. And also, if the people's energy reflected the energy that I felt comfortable within. So a lot of the projects that I worked on, there was always this staple person that would make me feel like home. And then in that moment, I'd be like, oh, okay, I can be here because this makes me feel comfortable and safe to give my gifts. So
when you said sheltered in your family, what do you mean that you felt sheltered in that space?
I'm the baby of the family.
Okay.
So I definitely was, protected in a sense. I have an older brother, and I was just protected. I come from an Italian family.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was in a big loving family. It's love, you know. They
Right.
just wanted me to be safe and taken care of. And
The only girl, or
no, I have an older sister.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
So being the child and being the baby, you had a lot of privilege and spoiled too, right?
I mean,
I say that because I was a baby, so
so yeah, you know, yes, yes, yes,
we get away with more stuff than we have to.
yes.
That's what my sister says, at least.
This is very true. Yeah.
But moving to California, who did you reach out? Who'd you know over there out there?
One of my really good friends that I grew up with, he was out in California, and him and his buddy started a production company, and I just spent a lot of time at their house, and they were working with like NFL players and like
wow.
all of these top names, and I just was so in awe of it. And that's when they got, well, I might be jumping ahead, but
That's okay. That's okay.
they got the feed to do a music video with Dim Mac.
Okay.
And because I was in their household all the time, hanging out, and my friend knew of me as from a child. We've known each other since we were like 13. He knew my dancing. Like, that's what I was known for. I did a lot of dancing. I danced my whole life. So
Din Mac is from LMFAO, right?
no, Dim Mac is Steve Aoki's record label.
Aoki's record label. I'm so sorry I got that mixed up.
No, it's okay. Steve Aoki's record label is Dim Mac. So I did a music video with them.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it got filtered through my friend's company, and they just, from one of my dearest friends, he hit me up and he was like, you know,
Let's do it.
yeah, let's do it. And at the time I was living in San Diego. I was spending a lot of time up at their house in LA because I was thinking about moving out there.
Right.
So that's pretty common with artists, you know. You kind of find these people that have the same lens and the same artistry as you, and then you just vibe together and you create amazing projects. And from being in San Diego, going up to LA, he reached out to me and was just like, "You're the best dancer I know. You want to jump on this project?" I was like, "Absolutely." I'm like, I would love to. So listened to the song, hopped on the train, took the train up to LA, and then went straight to shooting.
Did you go there without any money, or did you have some savings going to
Yeah,
California?
I mean, I was in San Diego going back and forth for
Okay.
a while until I built up enough.
What did you do out there to fund yourself?
I owned it. Well, I have a wellness company called Love Your Body, Feed Your Soul. So it's a positive affirmation company. And at the time I was, you know, an influencer on Instagram. This was in my 20s. And I learned how to monetize it. So I just was working with wellness brands, and they were paying me, you know, $100 to $200 here and there to like market their stuff. And I would take photos. And this was like, you know, before, I guess, Instagram became what it is now with all the influencers. You know, it was either way. It was like I learned how to monetize it. I was asking people, you know, for money, putting together my own contracts, sending out my own invoices, created my own logo, my own brand.
Damn.
I did like the whole thing, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So that's kind of how I made my way up there.
So meeting Din Mac by like the record label with Steve Aoki, did you feel like intimidated, or in some way you were just like, this is the guy?
I loved it. The shooting day, the day we did the music video, was one of my top accomplishments in my life thus far. I felt right at home. It was just the coolest experience. Everyone from Steve Aoki's team, Dim Mac team, they were amazing. I still am really good friends with one of the guys today. Awesome, just amazing. The artist was amazing. Everyone. It was like a family. And we all kind of like came up together, I guess you could say.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's cool seeing the track of everyone's where they're at now.
So you met Steve Aoki personally too?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I met him at one of the launch parties, which was fun.
Nice.
So yeah.
Looks like a cool guy too, just
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, he's a regular. You know, everyone's just regular. Everyone's just living their lives. it depends on the scene that you see people in. Sometimes, when you're on your show, you have a different type of energy than when you're in, like, you're chilling in the office or something. It's completely different.
I assume he's not throwing cakes at,
No.
his public day,
No, he's chilling. Yeah. Yeah, so.
So once you pivot out of there, and how long were you with them?
DimMac, I mean, I worked on a few projects with them. Probably it was like 4 years on and off.
Oh, wow.
Because, like, in between that, I was also building out a wellness center. Right. So I couldn't, like, it wasn't like I was, like, hands-on on tons of projects. But from afar, I was able to creatively guide a lot of their artists and people. And so, like, in the artist space, when you're hopping on projects, you're having input on a bunch of stuff, like, all day, every day. It's not just like one project you're solely focusing on, and then everything filters in together. And then the way that you work off of it is through a retainer. So I would get paid a retainer, and then whatever was needed within those, like, projects and moments. I mean, I still work like this now. You just hop on and you guide and you talk and you're in constant communication. So that was what I was doing. So I was doing music videos and different creative work for different people on DimMac team. And then I was also building out a wellness center. And then I would filter in the artists, some of the artists that were with DimMac to the wellness center. And then they would go through, whatever. Did
you have a team with this, or you did this all by yourself?
I did this all by myself.
How did you keep yourself so organized?
I had no choice. Like, you figure it out. Notepads.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found some of my journals the other day that I would just write down, like, I would always write down the amount of money that I wanted to make within the month. And then I would write down the projects that I was working on. Okay. And then I would price out, like, the different projects and stuff.
Did you hit one of those goals? Like making that monthly check?
Yeah, I had to. It was my bills. I had to pay rent.
What is that? I don't know if you could say this. We can block this out. You don't have to answer. What is the second to highest number that you hit? One of your goals. You don't have to say the highest, but.
Well, in LA, I mean, I was bringing in, like, close to $10,000 a month. That's a lot for me on my own.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know about other people, but being an entrepreneur by myself, consulting, doing creative directing, and not saying it's not difficult for men, but also being a female in the industry, managing that. I mean, in my beginning, that was like my starting.
LA's expensive too. Like a gallon of milk will cost you, what, a kidney and a finger or something?
Yeah, I mean, your whole soul, actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just costs you that. So, but I hung around with really awesome people. So we all kind of, like, took care of each other, which was nice because, as much as you want to hit, for me, like, you dream about hitting, like, even bigger numbers, but mine was more about, like, the people than anything else. So my main goal was just to make what I needed in order to live and be happy and feel secure. It wasn't so much about the money as it was about the experience. And that's what I like pride my whole career off of.
Let me ask you this, because 10K is a lot of money for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So when you started making the 10K, in the back of your head, throughout those 4 years, there's hiccups that happen, right? When people hear 10K, they're just like, oh my gosh, she made 10K, I can do what she's doing, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy. Explain the hiccups you went through for those 4 years to get to that 10K.
Clients that were nightmares. I mean, I don't want to, there were, I literally have worked with amazing people, but not all money is good money. Like, it just isn't. And you have to be very intentional with who you work with, especially when you're doing your art, because it will suck the joy out of you. Because ultimately people are paying you for your intellectual property, your mind, your soul, your passion, your energy. Absolutely. And it can get draining as soon as that money is exchanged. You would just have to be careful with that.
So when you started making that money, did you see yourself being more busier?
Yeah, I was definitely more busier. I became way more popular. People, you know, I don't know. I just remember I was living in Venice, California. I was hosting an event for one of my friends who was building out this project, and I jumped on her team. And at one moment, I had all these people in my house, and I looked around, and I was just like, none of you even know me. and I was like, none of you even, you just like, it sounds silly, but I was like, you just like want things from me. You know, it's like they just wanted something. And you get to the point where you're like,
Who's your friend?
yeah, I didn't really have any, to be 100%. I made like 2 really solid good friends. Well, 3 really solid good friends out in Los Angeles, out when I was out west. So in San Diego and then in LA. And I still talk to them to this day. And I'm grateful for those friendships because they definitely kept me together, for sure. Because you get lost in a lot of people as soon as you, as soon as you do anything out there, people jump on you and they want something. And
Want to be leeches around you, you know?
yeah, I don't like using that term, but that's pretty much what it was, and it gets exhausting. I know at one point, I was exhausted. I called my mom. This was during COVID. I was living in Topanga Canyon. I called my mom, and I just was like drained. I had like a bunch of people living in my home, like artists, because I also like to help people, you know? That's like, I love helping people. It's one of my favorite things to do, and especially people that are chasing their dreams. It's like if you don't have somebody who supports you, it's very difficult to accomplish these out-of-the-box ideas. Like you have to have somebody who, or people in general, who just believe in you, you know? And I wanted to be that for people because I had that in my life, you know? My mom has always been a huge support for me. My family in general, you know, any idea is possible. And I wanted to be that for the people in my inner circle or anybody I meet even now. But during COVID, it just was a different experience and I got drained. I definitely got burnt out. There comes a time, and when you do this for so long, you get burnt. I mean, I started doing this when I was like 25.
Wow.
I mean, I forever a dancer. I mean, I started dancing when I was 3. So, I mean, it's been a long road, but, you know, for those
But
of you...
to add on, sorry to interrupt, but to add on to that, she is one of the nicest humans because I've seen her here. We're at GoldCoast Cafe. Shout out Haney.
Yeah.
And shout out GoldCoast Market. Shout out GoldCoast Cafe.
GoldCoast.
And GoldCoast Salon.
Yeah.
But anyways, she would be here all the time in the summer, like the end of summer, literally helping Haney fix his logo, give him ideas, like doing it voluntarily. She also gave me advice too as well, like helping me do like some tips in here and there. And I'm just like, geez. And not even just us. She's been doing it with other people too as well. And she would put in her story, you post maybe like 10, you would post like 10 to 20 times a day. And it'll be like affirmations. You would just be like, beautiful day. She would enjoy life. Like this is not made up either. So
Thank you
would actually post that.
Thank you. I mean, when I'm doing it for all of you, I'm also doing it for myself. So it's like, I don't know. To say I don't have my days, I do, and that's why I do it. That's like seriously one of the main reasons why I do it. I just empathize with people because you have your own experiences.
Everyone goes through something.
Yeah.
People don't realize that shit.
Everyone, every single person, nobody's excused from it. No one is excused from it. And life is beautiful. Life is like, it's amazing to be here and experiencing this every day. You know, but unfortunately things do happen and we are only human, but it's how are you going to stand up? You know, like how are you going to wake up the next day and push yourself to be better than who you were yesterday and not judge yourself
100%
for being that.
But let's put a pin on that one because I know where this is going and I like this topic. But right when you were gonna exit California, you also too worked with I don't know his actual independent name, but he was an
Stefan. Yeah.
You said you worked with a group of he had a group of influencers.
Yeah.
How was that working with them?
It was cool. I mean, it was a cool experience. He was living, pretty much what we were working on was this like vegan project. This wasn't the
Yeah.
vegan cooking show. This is a different thing because I did that too. I was really interested in like vegans for some reason. I was curious,
Right.
like I tried being vegan, but unfortunately I need iron in my, not saying you can't get iron from, this is a huge, either way, it's a sensitive subject. I wanted to learn about people who were vegan. I was very curious. So he was doing that, and he bought all this land, and that was his mission, his purpose, his message. That's what he wanted to put out into the world. So we were trying to incorporate that in with his brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was working with all of these like top TikTok people and influencers, and we were putting together skits in his home that like that implemented that mindset, into what he was doing.
The brand.
Yeah, the brand. So it was cool. It was a great experience. He's a super nice person, very kind-hearted, generous, giving. Just a really, really great person to be around.
How long did you do that with him though?
I did that with him for probably like 2-3 months.
2-3 months?
Yeah, that was like my last project, I'd have to say.
How'd you know that you wanted to leave California after that?
It was just time. It was like my soul was just done.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was like COVID just shifted a lot. Some people fought the fight, which kudos, good for you. For me, I wanted to go be with my family. Like I bounced back and forth for a very long time. Like I always would come home for the holidays. I'd always go back and forth, and I was just ready to settle. Family focus. My sister had a baby. Like these family things happen.
Right.
And eventually you're like, okay, I did this career thing. I whatever I like could have accomplished in my 20s, I did. And I feel very fulfilled within that, but I just knew that I couldn't uphold that, and I couldn't have that heavy of a focus on my like what I was doing out there and also have a family. So like my next goal, I want to like have a family. I want to have kids. I want to get married. I want to like be that. And for me, and some people can do that. For me, I just knew that I put so much passion into what I built.
Yeah.
I only have so much to go around.
Right.
And I would want to shift that energy into a family.
Oh.
So when I look at like all of the things that I accomplished within my life or within, my 20s,
Yeah.
it's all of the things that I would want to incorporate into my family. So my art, the wellness stuff, understanding nutrition. It's like all of the things all the knowledge that I would want to know to make me my best human for my family. I now feel like I can do that.
Because, not to be disrespectful.
No.
But you're 32 now, right?
No, I'm 35.
35.
But thank you.
You look 24, 22. I've told you this before.
Thank you.
And this is actually really interesting to me because like, I feel like a lot of women like to find their lover or their soulmate at 25 to 28.
Yeah.
What separate you from doing that?
I was in a relationship.
Uh-huh.
And then I just realized that this was a solo gig. Like I had relationships prior to that, and I don't know, I just did different. I did it differently. I wanted to build my career before I met
Your soulmate.
my soulmate. Not saying I didn't meet tons of people that were my soulmate.
Wait. What do you? What? That's a deep one.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people that you meet in your lifetime that you connect with. I don't believe there's only one soulmate. Like, I really don't. I believe there's many souls in this lifetime, and as you evolve as a person, you meet so many people, different people in the levels that you're at, that show you different parts of love that you have. So it's like,
You know what I've heard, and I like this. I actually recently just started. They're like, you only have one love of your life, but you live multiple lives throughout your life.
yes.
I literally just heard that 2 days ago.
Yes. Yes.
That 15 to 18-year-old love that you found, and then that 25 to 30 Jillian, whatever, you're not, that's the love you knew at that time.
Yes.
And that's a new Jillian right now.
Totally different. Who I was in my 20s to who I am now in my 30s.
Yeah.
Night and day. Totally different person, different respect, feel different accomplishments, a different confidence. It's almost like I caught up with myself.
Whoa.
So it's like everything that I dreamt up and wanted to be, I actually did. So then it's like it wasn't just a dream anymore.
Right.
I was living my dream.
That's a crazy, that's a crazy way to view it.
As I like tear up a little bit because it's like now I talk about it. It's the truth. It's like I lived that dream, and my next dream is like to have a family. That's like my dream. I want that.
How many
So
kids?
probably 3 or 4. I see myself having 3 or 4 kids. Yeah. I would love that. I think that would be a dream, but I'd be grateful for whatever.
Right.
you
right.
know, because you get to the point where it's like
Yeah.
you let life kind of take you and you surrender.
When you were in those relationships throughout those times in California or in your 20s, did you see them holding you back in a way?
I did.
How did you just be like, yo, I'm sorry, but next?
I just moved on. Like it was like you do as much as you can to nurture where you're at, and you like, I mean, I loved every single relationship I was in. It molded me into the person I am today. You know, everyone you meet molds you into your being, and you obviously have your inner essence, but the people that impact you are the ones that you let into your vulnerable sides. And I'm grateful for every relationship, but when it came to taking flight, yeah, I mean, it was something that I had to do on my own. It just was. And when it came to like leaving, there were just, you give your, you know, either you need to do either this is what is going to have to happen, or I'm going to have to go my separate ways. You know, like that's, yeah, it's like I gave the choice, and it's like I will sit beside you and help you as much as I can, but at the same time, I need to also give to myself. So I chose me, which, you know, some people might look at as selfish. I don't. The way I look at it is being selfless, because I wanted to become a better human. So in whatever relationship I end up in, I can show up as my best self.
I like that.
You know, and it doesn't change. I mean, I'm being challenged right now, you know. I'm having to make adjustments within myself now to get myself to that level of being able to be in a healthy relationship moving forward in your 30s.
You weren't toxic, were you?
No, I wouldn't say I was toxic, but I definitely say, I think that term is like thrown around.
It is a lot.
Yeah, and it's awful because those toxicities and those toxic traits that people speak of are people's traumas. So it's like to sit there and judge somebody based upon the traumatic situations that they've been through isn't, you know, it almost sets, I don't know, it's in my eyes, I think it's unrealistic. I think the thing that makes you a good partner is when you see those traits and those traumas and you support them, and you challenge each other to be better.
So if someone's like constantly just being like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? In the, you know, not a creepy, more of a like like they're very obsessed over you. How would you handle that in that situation?
You show them what they're doing. You show them, you teach them, you guide them, especially if you love the person. You know, you don't leave them. You show them, you guide them, you teach to the point enough till you can, until if nobody wants, if they don't want to learn and they don't want to grow, then that's not the type of relationship that you want to be in. But you want to give them the benefit of the doubt. You know, it's like nobody's perfect. No, seriously, no one. Like nobody has everyone has their own fairy tale. Everyone has their own happy ending, their own fairy tale, their own story of what they want love to be. So you just pick the challenge. That's like what it is. You're like, okay, and then you show up in love the best you can. And you're shown things about yourself that you might not like, and then they're shown things, and then you either work together or you grow apart.
I'm learning a lot right now on the pod. You're teaching a lot. No, she's facts, but you sound very spiritual in a way, right? You sound very like, I don't know, like you like to feel earth.
I do.
Like
I do. I love to feel earth. That's been probably one of my hardest challenges being back here in Chicago is not having that option to like run to a mountain, you know? Like that's like running to going for a hike or like I don't know,
Eating dirt. Yeah, like a vegan. Oh, you're not hitting me.
putting dirt on your face. No, I'm
That's a
kidding.
thing though, a mud mask.
I mean, I lived in Topanga Canyon. Look up Topanga Canyon. It is probably the earthiest place. Yeah, I mean, I used to do like woman's moon circles and like
Oh,
all
wow.
that stuff. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the land.
And I'm shifting this towards that because I know you do a lot of spiritual, like you
I
read
do.
people and you read their energy so well.
Thank you. Yeah, that is one of my gifts. I learned that when I was in LA and I was building the wellness center. I always kind of had that in me. I just couldn't like pinpoint it really. And then being at the wellness center, I was surrounded by a lot of people, practitioners. I was like, managing these practitioners and building this space. And I was like, oh, wow, like I'm just like you. And we would connect on it. And then by connecting on it, it heightened my senses where I knew how to pinpoint it and being an artist, you know. And a lot of celebrities came to Human Garage. Like Zoe Deschanel was one of my clients, Juliana Huff, Miranda Davis. Like these are all top people that also feel energy. So they have like HSP. I have HSP, hypersensitive person. So I can feel the energy of a room. I can feel the energy of a person. And from a creative lens, it allows you to, just like build for them. It allows you to tap into like a different lens of light, I guess.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. So like, kind of for like an example. So when we're talking right now, what energy do you see when you like, let's just say like you just saw me right now, we're speaking right now. What energy can you just bring up?
Well, like you're obviously very calm and confident. And like when I look at you, I see your like highest version of self. So it's like, I just see I'm like, are we doing this right now? It's like a confidence. Like it's like obviously you're on the right path and this is what you're supposed to be doing. And it's just challenging yourself to elevate more and let your energy vibrate more and be magnetic and not hold back. You know, it's like, you're a very secure, sound person within your craft when you're doing this. And that's the energy that you're giving off is like ownership, which is great. Like ownership within what this is, which is a great thing. So
I only ask you to just for people outside perspective, because some people might be like, this isn't real. This is fake stuff.
Yeah.
So like, how do you tell from the eyes? Do you tell from I know from the energy, but like, what can you really tell? How do you
it's a vibration.
Vibration. Okay.
Yeah, it's a person's vibration. So like we all have different frequencies that we exist at. Mm-hmm. People's bodies vibrate at different frequencies based off of what they're going through. And there's, so I read based off of people's vibrations. And it's helped me with my creative outlets a lot. Because then you know where to place people based off of based off of their frequencies.
So this is ability that you had since a child, I'm assuming, right? You felt it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Everyone has this.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone. If you really tap into it, you could do it. Anyone can do it.
I'm just saying it because there's some people that don't believe in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that energy self.
Yeah.
I believe in it personally. I come from a Hispanic household. We've heard about this stuff. This is real. This is real.
It is.
But I've always heard this story of like the third eye, that we all have it. That's not what I did here. Like, but you have to discover it or unlock it.
Yeah, it's your ever knowing.
Whatever. With that, what is it that allowed you to practice in that craft, knowing that you will be criticized, you know? Because my grandma had the same thing, but they always thought she was crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my God.
And that's what stopped her.
If I could tell you how many times I was told I was crazy, it's been a lot, but the proof is in the pudding. You know?
Yeah.
It's like you kind of just keep doing it because all the yeses all the yeses to, the people that criticize, you follow the yeses, and then that's how you get your community. And that's how you see things, and you're like, oh yeah, like I'm not crazy. And then the things that you say, and for me, the projects I did, it's like I utilized my ability to read energies and to understand human interactions to create and build these teams. And then things were extremely successful. So it was in the numbers. So anybody that doubted me, I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to do it anyways. That was always my mindset, was like, okay, no matter what, I'm going to do it anyways. It's not like I was hurting anybody. It's not, like
You helped people.
I helped people. I helped so many people.
Yeah.
And I will never shy away from that. I will say it till the day I die, because I know, it. Yeah, I helped a lot of people. I am grateful for that. And they also helped me, everyone, it's reciprocity.
We talked about this, and we sat over there in the GoldCoast Cafe. Shout out GoldCoast Cafe. But we sat over there, and you read my cards, right? One thing that really stuck to me, I don't know how you'd feel about this, but it stuck to me because I felt like I built, or I found a friend. You pulled out a card that was a sun, and then you just said, this means growth. So this means this friendship is just going to grow. And it just felt like I found a friend.
Yeah.
And like in another level. So it's just like, it made me like connected, because I'm like, oh shoot. Like it made me think a different way.
Yeah.
And how I see people and how I interact with people, like me with Tino and me with like making new friends. Like, wow. Like the way you saw that perspective.
Thank you. Everyone you meet shows you something, even if it is, a quote unquote negative interaction. I don't really believe in that. It's like everybody shows you a side of you. Every like awful situation you go through, every moment that feels like you're drowning is a moment that you actually get to breathe. There's those moments that you feel like you're completely underwater. You're not. You're just learning how to breathe again.
You just have so much passion with it. So do you eventually, well, you're doing it right now, but how do you plan on
a little bit
expanding on how do you plan to expand on that more down the future?
I am just going with the flow with things. I'm just kind of following my heart in any situation that I'm in right now in Chicago. I'm not really I'm just whatever presents itself, I'm stepping into. That's pretty much how it is.
Do you still plan on touching on the wellness like a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. That'll never go away. That's like in me forever. That'll literally never ever go away from me. I will always be of a helping hand. I will always be a quote unquote healer. It just looks a little different for me now. In my 20s, it was you're building more, and you're still becoming, and you are you're just like you're in this different hustle and grind. As for now, I know I have become, and I know who I am. It's the person that I always knew who I was. I challenged myself to actually do and be. So that's that's like,
now you're here, right?
Yeah, and now I'm here.
Now this is Jillian.
And now I'm here, and this
4.0.
This is the GoldCoast Cafe. I helped with their branding. Ta-da!
We're gonna zoom in on that, but this
is my beautiful logo that I did for them, which I'm very proud of. I helped redo this whole menu, which I love. So yeah, I mean, I just jump on projects, give my creative aspect. If it's something that I can be of service to and help, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, and it's even better when you get paid.
It's true. It's true.
It is. As I said, like as much as money is a motivator, it's not my main focus. A lot of times people think I'm crazy, but I've seen and I've tested this time and time again. The money comes, and like my dad has said that to me too my whole life. If you just put your like best foot forward and you show up and you give your all, the money comes. And that's just what I've done my whole life.
And now you're a multimillionaire. No, but you're doing very well though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd have to say I'm abundant. I'm very lucky. I feel, I don't know, I feel complete and whole within whatever it is that I'm doing. My stressors aren't what my stressors used to be, and I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
Jillian, I mean, I got to tell you again, thank you, because I know you've been going through a really, really rough time.
Yeah.
Strong person.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, you just kind of keep on going. That's kind of my mindset. Take care of your mind and your mental health. Those are very important things, especially as the seasons change. Seasons are changing, so make sure you're upping your nutrients. Make sure you are taking care of yourself. You're drinking water. Here at the Gold Coast Cafe, they have a great water source called the EcoStar. We love that water. Right here, we love a good EcoStar moment. Shout out. We love good water. And for your nutrients, as I said before, my family owns a functional medicine laboratory. So we test nutrient levels. So if you're unsure of what your levels are at, like your D3, your vitamin B, whatever, your vitamins, we offer testing for that. So you could go to the website, directhealthcareaccess.com, and you could order labs for yourself, which is great.
Do that, but
Yeah.
or you could just take a couple of Flintstone gummies and just take them
Yes.
down like a grown person.
Or you could be a grown human with those Flintstone gummies. Or if you want to know deeper, that's,
Of course.
yeah, that's a great thing to do, because then at least you know.
So Jillian, what can they reach you at? What's your socials?
My social is, I think it's Jillian Sum
You think?
_ Yeah, Jillian Sum _ You can follow me, DM me, reach out to me. I respond to all of my DMs. I'm always very vocal with it. As long as you're nice, follow me. I'm very sensitive, so I don't really do well with anything else but the good love and happiness. And that's where you can reach me.
All right, sweet.
Or you can email me. We could do jillianloveyourbody@gmail.com. I'm down for that.
And write her a check too as well.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'll have you put my Venmo and Zelle up. No, I'm kidding.
That's another way too. I mean,
we love money. No, I'm joking.
but it's a great way to network too as well. But thank you guys for watching this. Emily's pod will be out before this one comes out. So once this comes out, please go check out the Emily pod. Shout out Emily. Shout out the Gold Coast host, Gold Coast Cafe. Shout out Hanny. And thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was amazing.